Good morning. Nancy and I can't be there today. We're in California awaiting the birth of our first grandchild. But we did want to talk a little bit about our great friend Larry Baker. Now, we know what Larry is doing right now. He is in a foursome with Arnold Palmer, Seve Ballesteros, and Bing Crosby. And Larry just hit a 500-yard drive, and he eagled the last 9 holes. At the turn, Larry probably spent a couple of hours telling stories. Now, Larry loved to tell stories, and he would talk about his time with the Republican Party in Wayne County, Michigan, working for George Romney, and also his adventures in the Peace Corps. Now, Larry was a high-ranking member of the Peace Corps at one time. And my favorite Larry Baker story is the one he told about a Peace Corps volunteer who was going to go to Africa and show the locals how to increase their crop yields. He did this. He said to the locals, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plant in rows, and I'm going to fertilize, I'm going to pull weeds, I'm going to heavily irrigate, and this will be a much larger yield than you get when all you do is broadcast plant. Now, broadcast planting means that you take a handful of seeds and just kind of throw them out, and whatever grows, well, that's what you harvest. Well, the Peace Corps volunteer did that, and he spent 14 hours a day for several months plowing and planting and weeding and irrigating and fertilizing. And sure enough, at the end of the growing season, he had a bumper crop. He went to talk to the locals and said, see, I've produced this yield, and it's much larger than what you get from just broadcasting the seeds. Well, the locals looked at him and laughed. And they said, well, everybody knows that. But you spent 14 hours a day doing that. You didn't have time to spend with your family, with your children, with your friends. You didn't have time to enjoy God's creation. And that's what we want to do, is we want to enjoy God's creation. Well, Larry enjoyed God's creation. And in fact, Larry was the type that held a lot of us together. He was sort of the glue that bound the teams that he worked with. Larry was the CEO for nearly 15 years of Disability Services of the Southwest, and a number of us here today are on the DSSW board. Larry would constantly remind us that what we are here for is to serve the thousands of homebound indigent patients that are disabled that are our clients, and everything else is secondary. Now, Larry made an immense contribution to the lives of all of those patients as well as to our lives. So he has certainly earned that great round of golf.